All right. Settle in, folks. Grab your popcorn, take a seat, and get ready for some real talk. We're about to dive deep into the world of personal finance. And let me tell you, it's not for the faint of heart. But don't worry, I'm not here to bore you with charts and graphs, or make you regret not paying attention in math class. I'm here to give you some tough love. The kind that you might not want to hear, but that you definitely need to hear. Now, let's be real here. We all want to be rich, and we want to be rich yesterday. We want to live that Instagram lifestyle, sipping Mai Tais on a yacht in the Caribbean with not a care in the world. But the reality is, most of us are drowning in debt, struggling to make ends meet, and just trying to get by. And that's okay. We've all been there. But here's the thing, my friends, you don't have to stay there. So, buckle up, grab a notebook, and get ready to take some notes, because we're about to dive into the nitty-gritty of personal finance. I promise, it won't be boring, and you might even have a few laughs along the way. After all, what's a little tough love without a few jokes to lighten the mood? Let's do this. Get out of debt as fast as you can, and I'll tell you why. In the context of this video, when I say debt, I'm talking about the 99% of debt, the consumer credit card debt, the go out and buy a boat for $40,000. This is the kind of debt you never want to get into, and you want to demolish that debt as fast as possible and never find yourself in that position again. Some of you might be saying, but I need a house. I need somewhere to live. I need a car to get where I'm going, and I prefer new. If I'm going to put money into it, I might as well pay the extra $20,000 on it, and I need that boat because I like to fish. Okay, well, yes, you need a place to live. Yeah, you probably need some form of transport. No, you don't need that boat. All right, you're all grown adults, right? We all are here. We can do whatever we want with our own hard-earned money. What I'm saying is that we should all be intentional about every purchase we make. Yes, even the small stuff, because that adds up. Look at fast food. Look at how much you spent the last month on fast food or something else. Those little meals, 20, 30 bucks here and there. That money will add up fast. I know you know what I'm talking about. As we walk through these steps, if you find any value in this video and you feel like it could help somebody else, a family member, a friend, please feel free to share it. Maybe there are other tips or strategies to get out of debt. Maybe you have experience with it. Please leave a comment below saying what it is so you can help others. And don't forget to hit the like button if you like the video. It does help that video get out. Let's jump into these strategies. And this is the part that every video that I've seen leaves out like 100% of them. It's the mindset. Now, they probably leave it out because it's not as sexy, it's not as fun or exciting to have a mindset as one of the strategies to get out of debt. But if you don't have the mindset, you don't get yourself in the mindset and keep yourself in the mindset, you are not going to get far on this journey. Like I said, it's a marathon. So let's get in that mindset and make sure we don't get out of it, because the rest of the steps in this video aren't going to make any sense to even attempt, because it all depends on being in the mindset. And that's for two reasons. Because you will begin to lose interest, you will continue to give in to temptation, and you will lose sight of your goal. When you have the right mindset, you're focused, you're driven, you're determined to make a change, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get there. So let's start with the first step to getting in the right mindset. Step 1. You need to know exactly how much debt you have, and I mean everything. Write it all down. The credit cards, the student loans, the car loans, everything that you owe money on. It might be painful to see it all on paper, but it's necessary to know where you stand. Once you have that information, it's time to create a plan of attack. Knowing your total debt is the first and most crucial step in taking control of your finances. It helps you understand the severity of your debt situation and provides a clear picture of your financial health. You can't make a plan to get out of debt without knowing how much you owe. When you have all your debts listed out, take a closer look at each one and determine the interest rates, minimum payments, and due dates. This information will help you prioritize which debts to pay off first. For example, if you have a credit card with a high interest rate and a minimum payment that barely covers the interest charges, creating a plan of attack for your debt involves setting achievable goals and developing a budget that takes into account your income and expenses. It's important to make sure that your budget allows for the minimum payments on all your debts while still leaving you with enough money to cover your necessary expenses. Remember, Getting out of debt is a process that requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to make sacrifices. But with a solid plan and a commitment to sticking to it, you can take control of your finances and achieve financial freedom. Step 2. Create a budget. You need to know exactly how much money you have coming in and going out each month. Make a list of all your expenses, including those little ones we talked about earlier, and prioritize them. Decide what you can live without and what's non-negotiable. You might have to make some tough choices, but it's all about being intentional and making a plan to get out of debt. Step 3. Cut back on unnecessary expenses. This is where that budget comes in handy. Look at where you can cut back and reduce your spending. Maybe you can cancel that subscription service you don't really use or cut back on eating out. Every little bit counts, and it adds up over time. Cutting back on unnecessary expenses doesn't mean living a miserable life or depriving yourself of everything you enjoy. Instead, it means being mindful of your spending and finding ways to save money without sacrificing your quality of life. One way to do this is to focus on what truly matters to you. Identify your priorities and spend your money accordingly. If you value experiences and travel, for example, you might decide to cut back on shopping for material possessions. If you enjoy dining out with friends, you could try hosting potluck dinners at home instead of going to expensive restaurants. It's also important to be honest with yourself about your spending habits. Are you spending money on things that you don't really need or that don't bring you happiness? Are you using shopping as a way to cope with stress or negative emotions? By understanding your spending habits, you can make more intentional choices and avoid mindless spending. Step 4. Create an emergency fund. This might sound counterintuitive when you're trying to get out of debt, but having some money set aside for unexpected expenses can prevent you from relying on credit cards or other forms of debt. Start with a small goal, like saving $1,000, and work your way up from there. Step 5. Increase your income. I know I said earlier that making more money isn't the only solution, but it can definitely help. Look for ways to earn extra income, whether it's through a side hustle or a part-time job. Use that extra money to pay off your debt faster. These steps might seem simple, but they require discipline and dedication. It's not going to happen overnight, but with the right mindset and a plan of action, you can get out of debt and start living a financially stable life. Remember, it's all about being intentional with your money and making a plan to achieve your goals. So, there you have it, folks. Tough love, but it's the truth. Getting out of debt is possible, but it's not easy. You need to have the right mindset and a plan of action. If you found this video helpful, please share it with others who might benefit from it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more tips on personal finance and living a debt-free life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. It might be wise to prioritize